Hi, welcome to 20 Questions. This is Joey Busuttil from Secret Men's Business.
And I'm Kim Hai from Her Tribe Within.
Hi, Kimbo.
Hello, Joey.
I feel like I haven't seen you. I mean, I know we do this regularly, but I feel like I haven't seen you in ages. I think the month's been really long. Do you feel that? Do you feel like the month of March was long?
It feels very long. I can't believe it's only April.
I know. And my God, look at you. You're at the Friends set. So what character do you relate to?
This is my best impersonation of Jennifer Aniston today, actually. I even tried to straighten my hair into the layers. Yeah.
Right. But we're only on a break, weren't we?
That's right.
I'm Joey. Yeah. What are you looking at? Yeah. How you doing? It was really funny when that was the first time I remember when Friends came on that I never heard my name before on TV.
Yeah, right.
So it was really quite, because Joe is quite an ethnic name, so it was really quite a really nice feeling to go, oh my God, my name.
It's actually a person other than me.
Yeah. So today we're going to be doing 20 questions on influential things of our time. So that can cover pop culture, movies, art, theatre, influential people. So we're just going to give us a bit of a random space to see how we answer those questions. And I think this is probably the first time that it's going to be quite acceptable to have unisex answers.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Yes, I think it's important to, and to also notice the shift in that too over our lifespans as well.
Yeah. So you ready?
I'm ready. Are you going to go first?
Well, do you want to spin a coin or do you want to go first? I don't mind.
Ooh, toss a coin. That's fun.
Oh, do I have a coin?
Oh, okay.
I don't have a coin. You can go first.
Okay.
You can go first.
Okay, I'll start quite simply because I find myself I was heavily leading towards music because I think music influenced me quite a lot as a child or a teenager or a young adult. So I was going to ask, and it's okay if it was a cassette, could have been maybe not a CD, what was the first album you bought?
Oh my God, I remember having someone gave us a record player that was like a box and you lifted stuff and it was it was plastic. But the first album we got was the ABBA album.
Oh, wow, really?
Yes, so that was the very first album that I had. And because it was the only album that I had, we played that album to death.
Yeah.
But I also remember the first CD I bought. The first CD I bought was the Aha album.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Aha. That was the first album that I bought.
That's so cool.
Isn't it funny how, I used to buy so many albums and records and I gave them all away.
Yeah.
Now we've got Spotify.
I know, and
I wish I didn't.
Me too, because songs will come up and I'm like, oh my gosh, I completely forgot about that. But if I had my old CD collection,
but would you really? Because I wasn't playing the songs, the albums. Do you know what I mean? They were just sitting there. What about you?
Yeah, mine were just in a box or on a display shelf, sort of showcasing who I was, but not actually being played. Yeah.
See, I find that Spotify is good because you just go into an 80s playlist that they do for you.
But also, once you like a song that I remember that song, and you play it, then those songs do start to come up themselves, which is kind of nice that they do the reminding for you.
Yeah. Okay, are you ready for my question?
Oh, I think so.
Okay, so the question is, okay, so in the words of Whitney Houston, I believe that children are our future. Do you believe that children are going to be our future?
Oh, that's a beautiful question. No wonder you're proud.
And, because I think it's important. I wrote that question going, I bet you I know how she's going to answer because she's a mother, right? But I really want you to be objective to every child, not just your two children.
Yeah, well, this is actually, that's a really interesting spin on it because, of course, our children have to be our future because it's all the future has.
I guess I just want to add one other thing. So we just remember we have an aging population. Okay. So are the children going to be our future? Are they going to look after us? Are they going to do the things that we hope that they're going to do?
Well, I think, like I said, it's inevitable that they'll be our future, but whether it's not our future or the future of our world. But it's true, isn't it? Because there's such a divide in political beliefs, I think, in this world today. Like, we're seeing it really strongly. We sort of feel everybody's on board with environmental values and kind and compassionate politics, and then something comes from left field, which I'm not going to name, but certain people are elected or things happen, and we come like, oh my gosh, there's actually a whole group of people who have a completely different way of thinking. And so for our children too, we don't.
How are they influenced by that? So do you think that they're being influenced? Is that why you brought that up?
Oh, they're being influenced by their parents, and they're, like I learned all my political views from my parents, and then I had to obviously foster and grow my own, but it's a big important part of it. But yeah, I think it's beautiful, and there's so many beautiful songs like that. Like the one that I was thinking of the other day was U2's One. Like there's so many beautiful songs of our era about, hey, this world is ours, we've only got one chance at it, how are we going to look after it into the future? And I really feel like our generation, that was a huge influence to us, Yeah.
I sort of think that, see, part of me wrote that thinking, there's a little part of me that is worried that the children of the future, the children as they grow up, are going to be more about themselves, because we're going more and more into this AI like world where if you think about this, right? If we're spending all this time doing that, imagine when like virtual reality takes over.
Yeah.
Or AI. So you're not going to, I don't know, part of me thinks that there may not be as much need for people to connect because the connection's done through the computer. I don't know. That's just, I don't want to like get too deep, but like it is unknown, isn't it? It's an unknown world.
I think there's going to be it's going to be hard to fight to keep our children, this generation, with the phones and the instant technology connected with what the actual real world is, because you can get lost, can't you, in that artificial reality, and you forget about the orangutans and the palm oil and all those sorts of things.
Yeah.
I mean, you see them on social media, but what does it really mean? And now that we're in our little COVID bubbles and unable to travel, even more so, like, are we really aware of our world and the situation? Is it true news? Is it fake news? Yeah.
All right, let's have a break because I want to get.
I'm focused.
I'm blurry.
I've been waiting for you to do that.
I know. It's sort of a blank, so then I can I have to have a blank. It'll come. There it is.
Ah, there you are.
Okay, I get too excited. All right, your turn.
Okay. All right. Okay, so see, mine aren't nearly as meaningful as that. You're giving me a bit of a.
They're all meaningful. Everything's meaningful.
So my next one, see, mine's more a bit about being a daggy youth of our generation.
But that's you. That's all about you. See, I try and make them as I look. I did a lot of research to try and find a way to make it unusual, so we could both talk about it and share. And you can, that's I really like the fact that your questions are like that.
Yeah, good. Of course you do. Okay, here we go. I want to know, so this is more of the fashion side of things. Let's go for that awkward stage where you were discovering who you were, how you were going to dress, what sort of person you wanted the world to see. Who was your fashion influence? Let's go for that awkward sort of teen.
Well, I think that I wish I was more independent. Like, I think I was jealous of these boys that were, so it was all about Spandau Ballet, Duran Duran. I was in that era. So at school we had the hair, all that stuff, right? But I didn't feel that I got it totally because I wasn't confident. I was a kid becoming a man, but I wasn't really there. Secondly, I didn't have the money. You need money. You need money for fashion.
Yeah, you do.
Don't you? So I was a trolley boy, right, at the supermarket, and I met this girl that worked at Just Jeans. So I don't know why, but I just put all my clothes in Just Jeans. And it was really bad. But obviously, oh my God, I remember something. So I didn't like being Maltese. So I purposefully looked for ways to look Aussie.
And what?
Just Jeans, Billabong.
Yeah, okay.
So I sort of went through that woggy hairdo, Spandau Ballet look, and then I realised I don't want to be that. I want to be Aussie. So I started dressing. It was ridiculous. I mean, when I look at photos, I feel so embarrassed.
Yeah.
I mean, fluorescent jackets and baggy pants. Awesome. And I didn't even serve because I went to uni near your place.
Really? Where?
Yeah, I lived in Geelong when I went to uni. So I got away from the whole ethnic thing, went to Geelong.
And pretended to
so I dressed up like everyone else because I didn't really know who I was, I don't think, till probably way later. Everything I did actually, oh my God, I never thought of that before. everything that I did was always copied of other people because I had no idea who I was.
Yeah. Well,
Until probably
I think that's the nature of being influenced, though, isn't
I
it?
know, but isn't it interesting? Like who? Like when I'm thinking about what the question, I'm thinking who started that, and we all copied them.
Oh, yeah,
But he was copying someone else anyway,
yeah,
wasn't he?
absolutely.
You know, because some boys were going to discos at a young age, and I was really jealous because I wasn't allowed to leave the house.
Oh.
All right, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. What movie do you feel that you could practically quote from start to finish?
Oh,
So, what movie do you have in your life that is basically in you? It's so in you that every time that you see it, you just know the whole plot. You know the lines. You know everything.
it's terrible because nobody's going to know it, Joe.
That's okay. What is it?
So it's a French film called,
Yeah.
called Le Grand Bleu. So the
And
big.
you speak, and you know the French words.
Well, that's what. Yeah. So I bought the English version, but I had the
I've
So,
heard of the Big Blue. Is that where they go underwater?
yes, and he dives. Yes.
Yeah, I've
Even
never
down
seen
to
it.
the songs, and I know when the guy yells at the instrumental bits when he's running down the village. I used to think that was amazing, that movie.
So, how many times have you watched it?
I couldn't, but like over
100, like
yeah,
over 100, yeah.
easy over.
Don't you love that? Don't you just love it when you like, like last night I watched The Birdcage. Like I've seen it probably 100 times, but you just don't get bored.
No, you don't. But you actually reminded me. I haven't watched it for a long time. I've got it still. I must watch it.
You need to watch it, and
Yeah,
you need to like try and see if you can do the words. Like
I'll talk along. Yeah.
yeah.
You
Cool.
were asking me to be able to recite the rap songs of my time. There are many of those.
No, you're not going there. Even though we are singing this, to stop suicide. All right, go.
True. Okay. That was my next one, but we'll skip that one. Come back. I'm going to say to this: if you could invite, pretty cliche question, 3 people, influential people of our
Oh my
time,
god, this is so cliche. I love it.
to the dinner party. Okay,
Yeah.
who would they be?
You know what? I really, really love because I've done lots of like documentaries and all that. I really want to invite what's his name, Kennedy, the president that got shot, because I
Yeah.
really am fascinated by the fact that he's such a nice man, but he was such a man whore. Like, I want to know what, because, like, after watching The Crown, I didn't realize that he was also addicted to some sort of drug.
Oh, okay.
So I
Yeah.
wanted to meet him. I think I want to also I want to have Madonna there
Yes. Yeah.
because I think she's fabulous and I love her. And I know this is also cliche, but I really would love Jesus or like an apostle or something because recently, I don't know if I told you this, but I've recently discovered that like religion.
Yeah, I remember you doing that pretty incredible interview. Did that start?
Yeah, that priest really changed me, and so I think that I'm really open to religion now, but not religion like we know it. That's religious. Yeah. So those 3, because Madonna and Jesus will clash, and then JFK will probably want to sleep with both of them. So it's just this
That'd
really
be awesome. Yeah.
All right.
Like it.
Is it my turn? Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So if you could actually go back into any moment in time and you could speak to a historical person, right, a figure of history, I want you to think about who it would be, and I want you to think about what would be the thing that you would want that person to change. So think about all the historical events in life, right? And you have the ability to go back and change and ask them to change something.
See, because I automatically thought I would have to go back to some positive.
It could be anything.
Then I almost want to go and have a chat to people like Hitler.
Good. Yeah, that's good. So, so you want to go back and what would you say to him? What would you say? And would he
What
listen?
would you say to change a dictator into a...
Say to him. Stop it.
Close your eyes.
Well, do you reckon, you chose it. Do you reckon that you feel like you have the power to get him to change? Like if you could have a one-on-one with him, do you feel that you could say something that may get him to change? Because you know everything, right?
Yeah.
Because, one thing that I find interesting is, how they wanted to just kill all the Jews?
Yep.
Versus to maybe imprison all the Jews. Don't you think that whenever you get rid of something, there's always going to be backlash? So he didn't think of that.
He didn't think of that.
No, he thought he was doing the world a favor, but in reality, the backlash of history was the German people had to wear that for such a
Yeah.
long
But
time. They're probably
did
still
he
wearing it
really know
now.
that though? Do you think he really knew that, or did
Well,
you?
he was on drugs as well.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, he was the first person to ever take ice.
Yeah. No, I didn't know that. But actually, now that you say it, it kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do you feel that? So you chose him because why? Why did you
Oh,
choose
no,
him?
you made me up. My instant go-to. My
Yeah,
instant go-to was the person I would like to bring back and sit down and chat to is Nelson Mandela. That's because I'm South African. I think he's just
beautiful.
an incredible man, but I don't know what I could ask him to change because that man's life was about trying to ignite change in South
Do you
Africa.
think? What would you try and get him to maybe change going to jail? Like maybe he, did he?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think there was
he did the certain things that broke the law that got him to go to jail. Or do you think he just wanted him to? I don't know. Like he was also cheating on his partners.
really.
Yeah, he cheated on his wife. He was an infidel.
Yeah.
He did a lot of infidelity.
Well.
Hmm.
Mm.
You know who I thought about? I thought about Captain Cook and not killing all the Aboriginals.
Yes, that's an awesome idea.
Or
Or
like,
what
all
about
those people
people?
that go to those places and they take over,
Yeah,
those white privileged men.
or whoever it was that decided that this was the way we had to be taught was to not know.
Yeah,
Like that's sitting under my skin at the moment.
yeah,
Who decided that I had to grow up with history that
yeah.
wasn't complete?
And it's interesting that you didn't choose a woman.
I know. Well, I was scouring my mind for it, but then let's be honest.
Joan of Arc, the girl
Yeah.
that flew the plane. What's her name? The one that flew the plane.
Ooh,
Um,
um,
I love Joan of Arc, but the poor
yeah,
thing didn't.
there'd be many women in time that I would like to go back and say, hey.
All the witches that got burned that weren't witches.
But what about the ones like I was reading a book to my daughter the other night that read Goodnight Stories for Rebellious Girls, and so commonly women like Ada Lovelace started to do. She was kind of on the brink of making up the first computer, and then she met somebody who was interested, and then this man appeared, and she sort of disappeared a little bit. Like there's a lot of that not stepping up to
What
it.
do
So
you mean
I would say to
disappeared? Like
all of the
he took all the idea
no, well, no, I don't think so. I think a lot of these strong women did what they did, but I'm wondering how many of them
a
could have,
lot.
yeah, could
I
have.
mean, like think about there's a movie about the girl who painted those paintings. You know those paintings that you see in houses in the 70s and 80s with the big eyes, the kids, the big
Oh
smiling.
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
that
yeah,
was a woman painted that, but because of the time, no one would buy them. Her husband pretended he painted them,
yeah.
right? And he took all the credit. And then she eventually said, "No, I'm going to out you." And he said, "No one will believe you." Like
Wow.
so, it must have been so hard for women back then, or at any time, just to not shine, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I would love to have that conversation with any one of them to kind of find out why, like what was hindering the shine at that time. Like, I mean, we probably know
The
most of that
time,
now, but
the
yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah. But when you like to set them free,
I know, that's exactly like I mean, like there was this. I saw a show, and I'm getting off topic, but I saw a documentary that I'm happy to share with you. But it was so interesting. Like, so imagine, right? They created this documentary. It was 2021, but they made it as if there was no AIDS.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
So there was no AIDS at all. So like we have to imagine what the world would be like.
yeah.
So I mean, like imagine if there was no Hitler.
No, exactly. Imagine if you could wipe out, and if there was equality between all.
Or there was no September 11, like that would be that day to me is still
That's a huge thing. I was going to ask you, like, what we might as well go into it. Like, when you think of influential um,
like
event of our time,
mm,
there's quite a few that spike in my mind where it changed my thinking of the world.
mm,
Um, what would be the standout for you? Would it be?
I got two.
Yeah. Okay.
So September 11 definitely is one because I remember I went to the movies and I was driving home, and I dropped my friend off. I was driving home, and then my friend rang me back and said, "Oh my god, a plane smashed into the building." And I imagined a small plane, like a
Yeah.
two-seater. And
Yeah.
then when I got home, I turned the telly on, woke my flatmate up, and it was like we didn't sleep.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I used to work on the 17th floor of a building, and I was so stressed for like 2 weeks because for some stupid reason I thought there was going to be plane was going to come into our building because
Yeah.
it was such, also think about all the replays and
Took out safety, didn't it? Like, I remember thinking,
well, we
oh
saw that plane
my
crashing
God.
into the building about 20,000
Yeah,
times,
yeah, yeah,
didn't
yeah.
we? And
Yeah.
I did not imagine that building to fall. Did you? Did you think it was
No.
going to?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No.
So that was a big change for me. But another big change was my dad had got really sick and went to hospital, and it was the day that Elvis died.
Oh, really?
So it's just a big day for me. I remember it clearly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
His dad was really sick, and then Elvis died, and I'm thinking, oh, so it's always stuck in my head.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm. Right. So this is more personal, okay? So, and again, it's about you just reflecting on your truth. So, when you look at your friendships, right, your friendship base, do you feel that your friends are the complete opposite to you, or do you feel that most of your friends are similar to you? So, are you more leaning towards people that are like you, or are you interested in people that are different?
I think, like me, what does that make me, a narcissist?
No,
No, it's funny.
I don't think there's anything. It's just more.
Yeah,
It just gets you to see perspective, I guess. So some people, for example, are attracted to people that are different. So I know this guy who only invites people that are different to dinner parties.
yeah,
He's got no friends that are like him,
yeah.
right? But for myself, I'm actually more aligned for people that are like me. So what do you feel like you are?
I think I am more aligned to people that are like me. But having said that, if people are too much like me, I get a bit exhausted by having to entertain myself.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I do get to a point where I'm like, oh gosh,
So you notice that they're like you.
I do.
But
Yeah.
does it do you feel comfortable when they have the same values and opinions? So
As
it doesn't
I
become
think I do. I
it's
know.
not
I think
conflicting, is it? You're not
no,
fighting.
that's right. You can relax because you don't have to justify
What
anything.
about your husband and your children? Are they like you or are they different?
They like me. Yeah, very much like me. Or maybe not my daughter.
What's she?
Yeah, she's quite opposite to me. It's actually very interesting because when we were talking about gathering these questions, I was thinking about my musical influences when I was younger, and every woman singer that I liked was gutsy and a little bit like was naughty. My mum wouldn't want to hear the rude words or the explicit talking about sex and whatever. And I was thinking it's so funny because I listened to that music because I could never portray that behavior. I never argued. I did my homework on time. I never questioned when I was younger, and now my daughter is doing all of that.
What do you mean? So you listen to the music as your outlet, but you never did what the music said? Because
No.
I actually was shocked that I heard an Ariana Grande song that had swear words in it.
Oh, really? Yeah, okay. I
Like,
didn't know. No.
and she's talking really explicitly about sex, and I'm going, oh my god, this is really because I thought her target audience was like kids.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Young teenagers. So, do you reckon that that's been always around?
Oh, it has definitely. It has definitely. But I used to like really like crazy left of centre, like Björk, who was punching people in airports and just had no regard for being nice to anyone. See, I spent my life being nice, and sure, she was a lovely, or is a lovely
She
woman.
was weird.
Yeah, but I liked that because it didn't matter what
It was
anybody thought of
weird.
her. She just
I
did
know.
crazy. It was awesome. Again, the drugs, but
Well, I don't think, was she, I thought that's what she was. I saw
I
that,
think.
I went to see a movie that she starred in. It was weird.
Oh, is it, yes, I've seen it.
Where
But
she got hung or something. She dies at the end.
she got a son
They,
in it
I don't know, they execute her.
quite a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah. The only song I like of hers is when she's on the truck and she's singing, da, 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 that sort of,
Yes.
da, da, da.
Yeah. It's Oh So Quiet. My kids love that.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Whose turn is it?
Probably mine, I reckon.
No, it's mine, I think. Is it mine?
No,
Yeah.
I think okay.
Whose turn is it? Mine
Go
or
for it.
yours?
I don't
All
know.
right.
You go.
I want to know, right? Sorry if it isn't, but anyway, I want to know, what do you feel is the world's biggest conspiracy?
The biggest conspiracy.
I know that we have many conspiracies, but for you personally, what is the world's biggest conspiracy that you go?
A global conspiracy.
Well, it doesn't have to be global, but for you just look at that and go, that's a conspiracy. So what do you feel like is the world's biggest conspiracy?
I'm tempted to say COVID, but no. No. Oh, goodness me.
So we're alive, we're all dead, we're all in a computer program.
Well, I think the one thing that I think is really huge is how manipulated we are by social media. And like when I watched that what was it called? The social
dilemma.
Yep. I was shocked to realise that I'd been manipulated on social media long before I actually even signed into social media, just through
So
my.
you think that social media is supposed to be fun, but the conspiracy is that it's evil?
Well, the conspiracy is that they are, they're trying to like hypnotically change my way of thinking and the way I live and what I do. Yeah.
I sort of think that about the
government.
governments. I think the governments. We all think the governments are there to help us, but I think that there's this hidden club.
They know things. Yeah.
They know things, and they're not really. They don't really care about us.
No.
Like we just get things given to us at a protocol. Like I really don't. You think that if an asteroid was going to come and hit the Earth, right?
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to like go on the news and say, "Guys, we're going to die soon"? No,
probably not.
They're not.
I'm probably glad.
There's going to be all the people that get like special access to the special places, but you and I will just wait, and then the last hour. So
I felt a bit like that in 2020. I've been feeling like the information I've been given has been measured, and I've been not. So you're right. There is that feeling that you're not in completely control.
Yeah, or you've been told what you think think you know, but you don't know anything.
Yeah, you're being told what to know. Yeah.
Absolutely. What about the conspiracy that you and I are just all the same? Everyone's the same person.
Who's got that conspiracy? That we're just
it's experiential conspiracy that we are. There's no such thing as, because how do we know? Right, you and I are talking right now, right?
Yeah.
So that's not a conspiracy; it's a theory. So everything outside of you and I doesn't exist. Only you and I exist, and it only exists when we go into that space. So when we look at your mind, I can see your mind thinking.
I can't do it.
So when we start thinking about, say, China, there's no China because we're not there. It's just a pretend thought in our head.
Like a tree falling in the wood.
Well, it's just okay. You know why I think it could be true? It's because, do you realize that when we look at things, everything in our mind is black and white, but it's our brain that adds color to it and remembers. I find that so amazing.
I know.
Because the banana, right, it's not, if we pick up a banana, we don't know if it's yellow. It's only our brain that's making it yellow.
That's right. And our yellow
it could be
is completely different to each other.
That blows my head away.
Yeah.
How the brain remembers that to be yellow all the time.
Yeah. So
how do we know that?
And what influences that?
Well, what influences that? It's our brain's mechanisms of picking up signals and all that, and then it just holds on to that and just gives us that. So maybe our parent says to us, "Yellow banana," and then we remember. Mm-hmm. But then, how do we know if the banana is real? If the color's not real?
Banana's real.
How do we know? We don't know anything. We don't know anything.
Yeah.
That's what I, anyway, that's a bit, go, your turn.
My biggest one would be the information,
Yeah. So do you reckon that people are not, people that have died are not dead?
Oh.
The information thing, that really wealthy people have got, for example, what's his name? That guy that hung himself in the jail.
Cryogenic. I said they've cryovac'd themselves, but I mean cryogenic.
No, I just think that they've just, they pretend they die like Michael Jackson and all that, but they're not dead.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, right.
I don't know, but they've just gone to an island that's got all this luxury.
Well, if Michael Jackson, that would be quite a clever thing to do because he was,
But what about Epstein? Like he hung himself, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, it was all weird the way that they did it, because who would put a person in a cell with sheets and things that you can do that? So sometimes I just think that sometimes rich people can do things.
Oh, of course they can. I mean, you look at the one thing, actually, sorry, I'm going into this conspiracy more so, is I wasn't aware of this power bunch of superstars who were gathering together to talk about climate change on jet boats off some tropical island, like George Clooney and Leonardo DiCaprio, and what? How can you be controlling our world and meeting?
I know, because I think what's the word for it? They're philanthropists. Is that the word? Can you say that word properly? Yeah. So they use their money. I get. Sometimes I don't see. I just think that they're just.
But their money is such power for them to have.
I know, but they're also doing it because they can use their money and get tax breaks, so they can get money back.
Yeah.
So it's not real. It's just it's more money.
But the point is, their money gives them so much power.
Yeah.
Any one of them could end poverty in a third world country with the signature on a check. Like, to have that power it's insane, isn't it?
It's insane. And I don't think anyone wants to end anything.
No.
That's, like that's go back to the AIDS thing. Like, now there's no such thing as HIV or AIDS because everyone there's a tablet. And so now they're giving tablets to people that haven't got it so that you don't catch it. So, if you think about all those tablets, it's a billion-dollar industry. So why would they? Because someone's got a cure. Someone's got a vaccine for it. They've got it.
Well, they say that about cars running on water and all those sorts, cures for cancer, don't they? They say that
all of that. I really believe all those things. All those things are there.
You do? Well,
yeah, totally.
If we have the capacity to do the most incredible things, it surprises me that we don't.
Well, don't you think? Like, I was watching because I love docos, right? So I was watching a documentary on sugar, and in the 1960s and 70s, someone actually said that sugar is bad, right? Yeah. Now that the other scientists called that scientist a quack, right? Because he was stopping the fat.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
So the power was, let's debunk this person. And only till recently have we started talking about sugar.
Yeah.
All that time, sugar has been in our food, and we didn't talk about it because they chose to not allow us. So all these people that talk about it, they do something, they shut them down.
Yeah.
I mean, you're an
the one thing that doesn't
woman.
sit well with me, though, is when we talk about all these people that shut us down. Who are these people? Like,
well, the 1%, the people that have got all the money. You know that it's like, if you think about all the companies, right? Think about like Johnson and Johnson, right, and Monsanto.
Yeah.
So they're two big companies, and underneath their umbrella, they've got like 50 other companies.
Yeah.
So they own everyone. Like Amazon now, I reckon Amazon will eventually own everyone.
Yeah, well, Amazon's massive, isn't it?
See, so they control us. Like he's the billionaire, isn't he? Trillionaire?
I don't know. He'd have to be.
Trillionaire, babe. First trillionaire in history. So him and Elon Musk are controlling us.
Yeah. Yep.
So with us a robots. My name is Joe. Go, your turn.
Okay. I'm gonna lift the tone here. Okay, so if you were a character in a movie, which character are you?
I think I'd be like the the best friend that hangs around. I don't think I'd be a lead. I don't think I don't want to be a lead. I'd be like Ducky from 16 Candles, or I'd be like I'd be one of those characters that's on the edge, that's in love with someone, and then they don't know, and then at the end I get what I want.
Yeah, okay.
The person that's the main character, they end up losing.
Well, that's always I
end up getting it. So I'm patient on the sidelines.
You're happy to be the support act,
like a snake, and then I get what I want. Because I always find that is, I've never been able to get anything, say a relationship straight away. I always have to work the weird way.
Yeah, okay.
Like one of my girlfriends that totally loved me, she would say no all the time. No, I don't want to go out with you. You're too short. No. And eventually she fell in love with me.
Yeah, okay.
So it's all about persistence.
Persistence is like wearing them down.
Oh, I did. I wear it. You're going out with me. You're going to be my girlfriend. You know that. You're going to be my girlfriend. She goes, no. And then eventually she said, all right. So that's my character. All right. Imagine a world without the internet. Tell me what you think the world would be like.
Well, I know because I lived it. You and I was doing some research on this, and I didn't know about this xenials that we are, the in-betweeners, who we got to have.
We got both.
Yeah, we got to have tech-free childhoods. We got to have simple headspaces. We got to ride bikes. We got to come inside to make a phone call. We had the space to consider an answer before we went to the library and got out an encyclopedia to discover it.
Going to the library, did you?
Yeah, I did. And my dad was a book publisher when I was younger. So we had like the complete encyclopedia. So any school project I couldn't wait to come home.
Britannica?
The letters, pull it out. It wasn't Britannica. It was Oxford.
Funkin' Wagonal? You had Funkin' Wagonal.
Yeah. But I just loved it. That was such a wonderful thing. But I think the world without internet.
Well, imagine, right? So go on what you said. You didn't have it. You've had it. So now we're not going to have it. What's the world going to be like? We've tasted it for all this time. Now, imagine all the stuff that you do online, like this, you and I, it's all gone. So what do you think the world will be like? Do you think it'll be good, or do you think we'll get frustrated?
To me, I think it would take a lot of adjustment, much like your
Blurriness.
yeah. But I think ultimately, with a little bit of this, we could get there.
Little bit of this.
I think it would be a worthwhile transition to get there. I would love it. I think one of the main reasons why we don't disconnect is because everyone's connected. But if we were all disconnected,
but do you choose to? Is it like I have disconnection days? Do you? Do you have days where you just don't turn your phone on?
no, I should. I don't.
Oh my god, it's sort of mental because you know you're doing the right thing, but then at the same time you do feel like you're missing out on something.
Smoking for a day, yeah.
It's like you're sort of like going, oh my god, like should I turn it on? And then you have to sort of. I'm better now, but like, how do you think your kids would, like the younger people, would cope that have never had what we've had?
Well, I know exactly. So I've spent some time with some family recently and watched teenagers all in the same room but on their tech. So to me, how beautiful for them to drop them and actually connect with each other. But I do think that they've become so immersed in it and so evolved with it that we would have some serious mental health problems if we took it away.
Yeah, but also, can you imagine I always think about what's going to come. And we've sort of like done this much in 10 years, because we have. Like, what's going to come? Like, I can't even comprehend when 5G comes.
Exponential now, isn't it?
What?
It's exponential with the technology growth. Like,
well, everything now is on an app, isn't it? Everything's app driven.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have an app for everything.
I
turn my lights on and off with an app.
Yeah,
I don't even touch the wall anymore.
I know. Yeah.
I love it though, because I can go, I want green today, and the light.
Oh, really? That's
yeah. I have 1,500 colours.
Wow.
Bulb.
So you need that. See, to me, that's the thing. Without all of that stuff, can you imagine that real estate in your brain?
Oh, it's all programmed. I love that. 6 o'clock it comes on, goes off at 10. The music comes on through my little home pod. That tells me bedtime. I love it.
Yeah.
But people are anti that. They
do
think
that manually.
No, it's all done. I know, but I don't have to think about it. I can focus on what I'm doing, and then everything else just comes on, and then my trigger to do what I have to do.
I don't know. I'm kind of for us going back into the jungle. I'm kind of for us doing that.
Why am I so blurry? All right, is it my turn? Yeah. Okay, so if you were able to create a new law, right, that everyone had to obey globally, what would the law be? So what law would you introduce into the world after what you know?
Whew.
Oh, this is the power question. Don't fuck it up. This is the power question. You understand? This law could change the whole world.
You could use it for good or evil.
The law that I'm going to bring in.
You have the ability to bring in a new law that everyone in the world had to obey. So what would the law be?
Oh, that is so difficult. That is so difficult.
Really?
Yeah, it is. Because
is your mind going into badness?
No. No, you know me.
I know.
I've got the butterflies and the rainbows happening in my mind. Automatically, I think that I'd love it to be a law of kindness, that you have to be kind. But then I think that's not really fair, because your kindness.
Elsa, how are you going to monitor that? How are you going to monitor 1 billion people to be kind? I would think about. I think what you said earlier about celebrities. That's a good law.
What, that you're not allowed to be rich? You have to give. There's a cap on salaries, and then the rest goes to third world countries.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of me turning into a bit of a communist, though, isn't it?
Well, you're ending poverty.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you feel like is the biggest thing that we need to work on? Where would your law be placed? Would it be in families? Would it be economy? Would it be, what is it? Healthcare?
Environmental. For me, it's environmental. I have serious concerns about.
Oh my God, I didn't even think of that.
The ability of see, this is the thing. It's starting to get moved back. Environmental, like, this world can't sustain us as we are. Like it could. I read somewhere. No, I watched a terrible documentary. You love your documentary, David Attenborough's last statement. Oh my gosh, my heart shattered.
That was sad.
The idea
he was
that
so
this
sad,
world
wasn't
might
he?
not sustain my grandchildren. Like that's that's tomorrow stuff.
I know, but we
that
knew.
we can't
Don't
do
you think? Don't you think that we knew? We knew. We all know. We all know. Like we all walk past things. So I don't have any.
do.
I have no sympathy because I'm guilty as much as everyone else.
So
You know, think about when we were young and we used to
my law would be that you can't walk
cigarettes
past
out the window, right? Remember
Exactly.
McDonald's out the window.
Yep. Yep. And the things that we consume now, we do it mindlessly.
That's what I'm saying. So like, it's really hard to sort of be, you know,
So
when we, you know.
my law would be from the top down that's got to change.
So do you feel that you're following your heart with the environment? Like, do you buy plastic contained foods from the supermarket?
Yeah, I'm not following my heart at all. It's impossible to follow my heart. But this is the thing. How do we instill that change? We've got so many fights to fight at the moment. It's really hard, isn't it?
You're right, actually. That's really a good way. We're dealing with fights all the time.
Yeah, we are. We are.
That's why I think I'm blurry today.
Yeah, you are. You can't fight.
I can't. I'm finding it too hard. Oh, go. It's your turn.
Mine will seem really low. Okay, this is a now one.
Mm-hmm.
This is a now one. So, influential people of today. What person at the moment inspires you to be your best person?
I'm going to go back to that priest.
Yeah, okay.
Dr. Rob Galea.
Okay.
So from the Bendigo parish.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because he had adversity in his life where he was a drug addict and he used to be with the wrong people. And then one of the boys in the gang, when he was 15, 16, they were going to kill him. Something went wrong, right? And they were going to kill him. So someone gave him a warning and he ended up running home and telling his parents, and he hid for 3 months in his bedroom.
Wow.
He didn't go outside for 3 months. And in that time, he believed he discovered God.
Yeah, okay.
Right? And then he became a priest. And so the thing I love about him is that he's not a normal priest. Like, he has touched probably over 20 million children, like young adults, through music. So all his thing is about songs.
Yeah.
Right? He's like, he sings and he's got a band and he travels around the world and he goes to gym and he's got muscles and he's got tattoos. And they're making a movie about him and Ryan Gosling's playing him.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah, so he's just, you know,
He's from Bendigo.
He's from Malta, where I'm from.
Okay.
So I feel very, like, he just touched me. I mean, I didn't think that would, I mean, I watch Mass now on TV to see him.
Yeah, right.
You know, so, and I don't really now acknowledge or notice the religious part because he does something with it. You know what I mean? Like, when I used to be growing up going to church, it was very shameful.
Yeah.
Like, you will go to hell. Well, he's been able to take the message and make it beautiful. And that's why I feel that he's really inspired me, because he's the one that's really inspired me to do this work with the men.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, all of that has sort of been driven because he's got, you know, he just simplifies everything and
I feel
says.
like you need it to be about God to be that inspired, though. Like,
well, I think the God thing is, God's always been me.
Okay.
God's inside of me, right? He's not like in heaven. I don't believe that part of it. I just believe that God speaks to me as my intuition.
Okay.
So he's like, you know, the universe and all that. So I think that everyone somewhere down the track prays in their own way.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
You know, they might not be praying to God, but they're praying.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so yeah, so he's really influenced me a lot. I can't think of anyone else.
Okay.
You know, besides you.
That's the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
All right. This is another really sort of blow my brain question. So what do you believe, right, is a harsh truth that you're really ignoring?
Ooh.
Like a truth that well, I guess the environment could be one.
That's probably the.
But try and think of another one. Like, what you know, there's something going on, but you ignore it. You know, you just prefer to ignore it.
I prefer to ignore it.
Well, you know, again, when you're talking about the environment, we're choosing to ignore it.
Yeah,
because, you know, you said before, what can we do? Right? So in reality, if we all say that,
nothing.
Then no one's doing anything. Like, I always try and believe that one person can do something, but I don't think that's freaking hard work.
It is hard work. It is, yeah.
So what do you think you're ignoring that's happening out there?
If I can't choose the environment,
you got to think about something else.
I'm
something that maybe look at something smaller. Something more local. What are you ignoring that you know is a truth?
Oh, local.
Yeah, like Australia.
Yeah, right. Um, well, I think it's a really good question because I think we ignore a lot of things and we go on. Like we've been talking about, we're talking about First Nations before and the history of Australia. And even when you talk about gender inequality, we talk the talk, but I think through our behaviour, it's like we're innately ignoring the truth sometimes. Like to follow that path completely, you have to at sometimes make concessions, and so your behaviour, like, oh, it's too exhausting to not be the one to cook the dinner tonight, you know.
Yeah,
So
or like you
know
talk
what I
about, like guys really believe at the moment that they respect women, but when it boils down to it, there's still all this bullshit that's still there. So they're ignoring the real message, aren't they? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, but I was thinking actually more from a woman's point of view, like what we're ignoring. Because I mean, obviously, there's a big push. We want change and we want equality, but at the same time, we on the
You to do
flip
your
side,
roles, yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
and on the flip side, we still pigeonhole men. So I think the one thing that is not sitting well in my heart at the moment is I want equality, but that doesn't mean that somebody's head has to roll and they have to then slip down in their rights and acknowledgement too. I completely agree with all the wrongs that have been done, but it's a very difficult thing to do. So it's really, really
Yeah.
difficult to follow that with purity when you're not really sure where you're navigating to as well, I suppose.
So you're just, you're a nice person, and I love, you're not looking at the malice part of it, because I think that there are a lot of women that hate men and a lot of men that hate women, and I think that argument, that fight has to happen for
Yeah.
them. Well, I think people that have been brought up nicely, like I think we can understand both, right? Like I feel like I understand you a lot because I'm gay,
Yeah.
right? I've got this feminine energy that I understand, and there's a connection where a lot of guys don't have that emotional thing, so they see things different. Like,
Mm,
like that whole thing that's happening in Parliament, for example.
mm.
Like, if you interviewed those guys, they probably wouldn't think that there's a problem.
No, I know, and that's revolting. Like
Revolting.
it is revolting. But I mean, it's just such a big, again, another big fight that we have, isn't it? And at the
Yeah.
same time, when we do that fight, we can't blame men like you, good men who have been.
No, but if we can't get it in Parliament, then we're so far away.
I know,
If they're having orgies in Parliament
I know.
and they're not reporting it, then we are a long way away.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
You know,
Um,
that's the thing
yeah.
that I find sad.
But that's kind of the miss. I don't know what you call it. The shortfall of the world is that those people who have the power don't always honour and behave
I
appropriately.
know, but most men believe that they've got the power.
There's my law that anybody in power has to behave responsibly.
Execution.
No, not off with their heads.
I always had that fantasy that I had this power button, right? And I could press it, and I would just simply say, all the murderers died, and they all died,
Oh, wow.
right? And then I thought, wow, there'd be a lot of people dead.
It would be. Could you just power them down for a bit to reboot? Like just, and then you reboot them and they come back a better person?
No, that's called
Okay.
robots. All right, whose turn? Is it your turn?
That we are.
Is it your turn?
Okay, let's make it my turn. Because you are doing this incredible thing at the moment for suicide prevention, this karaoke. What is it, like a couple of seconds?
Sing to stop suicide.
Yeah, beautiful.
Which I find I need to talk about later. Go on.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm kind of helping there because I think we're close to wrapping it up. So
Look,
I
got my vision back.
see,
It's important.
this is it. This is the
Bless
important part.
you.
So the singer, I'm going to just put it out there because I think we're talking about influential music. We talked about movies you know the words to. Give me the singer who, there's pretty much not a single song that you don't know all the words to. That rocks your heart and soul.
Kylie Minogue.
Oh, I thought it was going to be her.
Kylie Minogue, right? Not only because she's a gay icon, but because she's a stayer.
Yeah.
Right? I love her. Like, also she came out the same time I came out.
Yeah.
So we have this common thing. But, I loved her the most when she had breast cancer.
I
And
didn't.
she became vulnerable. Huh?
I didn't know Kylie Minogue had breast cancer.
Oh my God. She has
Terrible.
cancer, but that's
Yeah,
terrible.
I know.
You're a woman? Terrible.
I know.
Yeah, she was about to do her biggest tour, and then she had to cancel Australia, come back here, do chemo, lose her hair, thought
Yeah,
she was going to die, and then she rose from the ashes and became bigger than ever. And I love people like that.
yeah, that's awesome.
Like people that don't go, oh my God, look at me, I'm sick. Like she had her breast removed.
Yeah.
Like that's empowering.
Yeah.
And I also love the fact that she was told by everyone that she's the singing budgie, but look at her, she's still around.
Yeah, exactly.
And as much as people hate her, they secretly love her.
Of course they do. I went and got my hair permed to be like her when I was in grade 5.
I should be so lucky.
Lucky, lucky, lucky.
I should be so lucky. And by the way, everyone, we're doing Sing for Suicide. Stop suicide, not sing to stop suicide. So the whole rationale about this, Kim, is this is the thing I find funny, right? So people commit suicide because they feel vulnerable and they don't feel support and they don't feel they have the ability to do whatever they have to. So by singing, we're actually, experiencing our own vulnerability. And I actually thought that there was going to be a lot of people that do it, but I'm so shocked that hardly no one's done it. People have donated, but hardly no one wants to do the singing, which then raises my attention that there's a lot more people that are insecure out there than I thought.
Yeah.
Which is a shock, because I actually thought that the majority of my friends were secure.
Yeah.
But they're not.
But
so that means that some of them have got mental health problems and not talking about it. Because I didn't see that.
Yeah, yep.
It's only a 30-second song.
It just takes one person in a group of friends to step into that vulnerable place, and the rest will follow. So
we're doing that. We're doing that, and people ask that it's very slow. It's just a very interesting thing to see that people will only do things that they feel they're not going to be judged on.
Have you got a way of recording how many karaoke snippets have happened so far?
Yeah, they're all in there because the judges have to. We've got 2 famous judges.
Yes.
So Mike Snell, who's a big theatre artist, and Steve Baroni, who's an actor in Australia. Yep. So they're going to judge, but there's only about 10 songs on there.
There's only 10 so far. We can do.
People have donated, but again, to me, what is the valuable information is that I thought I wasn't expecting so many people to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So imagine the people that are suicidal.
We feel so judged, don't we?
Yes, we feel judged, and we feel like there's that I can't do that, or oh my God, it's too embarrassing. So that is really going against, or it's really helping me understand my message. It's that to sing is to show everyone that we are all equal and vulnerable. So the people that are going through a hard time can see that and go, if that person can sing, what we're really doing is the opposite. We're actually telling all those vulnerable people not to sing.
Yeah, yep.
You're actually telling them to.
The money goes to?
The money goes to Suicide Prevention Australia.
Excellent. Yeah. And the goal?
5,000, and we've raised nearly 2,000.
Right.
So there's still another 15 days to go.
Okay, so we need to spread it like wildfire.
Yes. Now I've got one more question. I've got one more question for you.
Of our time. Oh, okay, sure.
It's a really easy one, okay? I just want to know what you think, right, is what would be your invention to the world? What would you want to create to allow humans to live their life better? Something, it doesn't matter if it's practical or not, but what would be something that you would like to see invented so life is better?
Clean energy. That's actually accessible to everybody. It doesn't destroy the environment.
And is it free?
It's free.
It's free. Yeah. Okay.
And it comes with a mindfulness app. Because I also want everybody to put the clean energy in their minds as well.
Good idea. Because I thought about what if everyone had solar power? Wouldn't that mean that we didn't have to worry about electricity?
Yeah, it would. But then we've got that environmental cost of the panels when they've used up their 25 years. It's not simple. So that's what I would like to invent. A simple, completely carbon zero solution.
Beautiful. This has been the best. I loved it. I really enjoyed today.
I've really enjoyed it too.
I've been here, but not really.
Yeah, I know. I'm feeling anyway.
Okay. It's good to have you, look at you, beautiful, and the friend set sparkling, and I'm just in this brick wall here, just blurred away. But thank you. And I think,
Thank
hey, I want to throw something at you.
Yes.
Do you mind? What if we do the next 20 questions around conspiracies?
Ooh, you'll dominate that. I'll do my research. Yes, let's do it.
20 questions around conspiracies.
Yes.
All right, everyone. Nice seeing you. This is Joey.
This is Kim. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.